I want to mention the date of this meditation practice, May 27th, 2022. The focus is on how do we live our lives when we're surrounded by tragedies. Tragedies are not new. I suppose one of the biggest examples would be 9/11, which means that all of us are vulnerable, all of us are dependent upon a global and socio-economic system for our food, our shelter, the power that heats our homes, that powers up our machines, and all of this requires communication, lines of communication. Clearly, there are gaps and faulty wiring in our communication, but the topic and the subject that I want to spend time on is how can we be vessels that are large enough to hold all the fear, the sadness, the terror, as well as the joy and the glory of having a human birth. None of us wants to live in an ocean of fear. And I think all of us have a responsibility, both socially and personally, in order to help us navigate and stay present in this life to all that is, without taking it on, without thinking we're going to fix everything that's broken. So there are three things that I believe can help us stay with what is in this life: love, forgiveness, and hope. So to that end, I will incorporate a Buddhist prayer towards the end of a brief meditation, and knowing that we have greater capacity and strength to endure whatever befalls us. In fact, as you are preparing to comfortably sit, whether it's cross-legged on the floor with a cushion to elevate your hips, or if you're sitting on a chair with a firm seat and a straight back, find your comfortable seated position and let everything that's touching the ground, if you're sitting, your feet are flat on the ground, wiggle around and settle down. Close your eyes. As A.A. Milne, who wrote Winnie the Pooh, said, always remember, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. And remember, our thinking is very, very limited, which is why we meditate. We get beyond thought and we connect to a higher power. We create space for creativity and openness to something new. And the phone's ringing. it will eventually stop. Are you going to stop it? No, it's okay. This is normal life. A Chinese proverb, the gem cannot be polished without friction, nor man perfected without trials. So with your eyes closed, comfortably seated, with a straight, long spine, inhale deeply and exhale completely. Inhaling, filling your lungs, expanding your rib cage, letting your belly protrude and be soft. And exhale, fully letting everything out. One more deep breath in. And letting go. And just spend a moment feeling the breath as it enters cool through your nostrils and warm as it exits. Cool air in, warm air out. So as long as man has been living on this earth plane, there have been squabbles, there has been violence and war. And all of us wish there was none of that. So that would be a societal wish. As a society, we wish that would all go away. But when we go inside and we look at our own behavior, our own actions, our own thoughts, are there any that might be considered mean, hateful, disrespectful, even violent? Where are the seeds of violence? By looking within with awareness and compassion, we may find that sometimes we, I, and you are sowing seeds of hatred, of discrimination and violence. On a smaller scale, we have upset and tragic events in our own lives. It could be disease, it could be divorce, it could be death. All of us will experience tragic events. Again, the friction is what polishes the gem. It is the friction in our own lives that may polish and heal our hearts from divisiveness, from thoughts that are unloving, fearful, angry, or judgmental. We all have a responsibility in meditation. We might discover things that we didn't know about ourselves. If we don't know, we can't do anything about it. Awareness is the first step to healing everything unlike love. Forgiveness is powerful. Forgiveness may do nothing for your enemy, but it heals and makes whole the person who forgives, who lets go, who understands that we are all innocent in our ignorant behavior. This is from the Course in Miracles. And that in yoga, one of the pillars, one of the two pillars of yoga is the law of karma. And the law of karma states that we meet in exactly the right relationships and circumstances to experience what we have caused others. Not as punishment, even though it may feel punishing. The law of karma exists to help us evolve. And when you can embrace the philosophy of karma, you take forgiveness and you replace it with compassion. Compassion for the suffering of your enemies, of your adversaries. Compassion to understand that those who commit acts of violence will be met at some point when the karma ripens with violence against them. The Bible states, as we sow, so shall we reap. Many cultures have an expression, the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This rule has many, many interpretations in every religion and every culture. And the opposite of love is fear. Fear can be an acronym for false evidence appearing real. Fear comes from scarcity or the belief that there's not enough to go around. And the reality is, there is enough. The truth is, some of us have forgotten how to share and care. So at a personal level, we have a responsibility, the ability to respond in a way that removes the seeds of violence, hatred, and replaces it with love and compassion. Until we are ready to embrace these ideals, hope. Never give up on hope. Martin Luther King stated, "We must accept finite disappointment, but we must never lose infinite hope." His Holiness the Dalai Lama, forced to abandon his own country, to flee from Tibet to India, has never lost hope. He refers to himself as a simple Buddhist monk, but there is nothing simple about his faith and his belief in humanity. Take refuge in the teaching of the Buddha, the Four Noble Truths, the truth that there is suffering, the truth of what is suffering, the truth of how to relieve suffering, and the path from suffering. We must be willing to forgive, to keep love, and maintain hope. You can breathe any one of these virtues into your heart center. By focusing on a virtue, you intensify that virtue while weakening its opposite. So the more you focus on hope, the less despair you feel. The more you focus on love, the less fear. And the more you focus on forgiveness or compassion, the more you let go of resentment, disappointment. We use the breath to inhale what is for our highest good, and we exhale that which does not serve us. Fill yourself with love, compassion, and hope, and empty yourself of fear, resentment, and despair. And now, the Buddhist prayer. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free from harm. And may I live with ease. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free from harm. And may all beings live with ease. We always have a choice. Our choices are either life-giving or life-taking. We're choosing life or we're choosing death. It's not complicated. We can complicate it if we let our minds make up the stories and become emotionally involved in our stories, where we're the victim. But we can write a different story and know that yes, there will be suffering, and to understand why we suffer, and to understand that we have a choice and a way out of suffering. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the peace you wish to see. Peace begins with you and me. So breathing in what is healing and what is wholesome, letting go of what tears apart, takes down, and is unwholesome. Know that your thoughts and feelings are as real as the floor or the chair you are sitting on. Be part of the solution by thinking with love, compassion, and hope. Just breathe it in. Fill yourself with virtues and empty yourself of vices. Begin with loving yourself, forgiving yourself, and always having hope for yourself. We cannot give to another what we are unable to give to ourselves. Be gentle, patient, and committed. It doesn't matter how fast you go, just keep on going. Never give up. Stay as long as you like. In peace, love, and hope. Namaste. Stay in love, stay in peace, and stay hopeful.